the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of Trim.
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us.
Welcome to Fishburners Live. You are seeing our live image outside our kitchen, overlooking Vineyard Park and the building across the street. I think that is the, what was that building? A heritage building.
Right opposite us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at, yeah. We'll find out the name of the building and what is that clock tower about. Because
I only know that there is a
pub
bar.
downstairs. There is a bar at the top, there is a bar at the bottom.
Exactly, that's what I know. That's what I know.
Yeah, I think it's Mansi Hotel is over there. Okay, Mansi Hotel is over there. All right, okay, now let's come back to my VIP guest for today. And I have to pan the camera across. And it takes a bit time because mechanical electronic technology takes time to do things. Slightly faster than a human operator.
Slightly. There we go.
There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, let's get the most important thing out of the way. If you like the rough idea what we are going to talk about in the next 20 minutes and you want to find out more, link in the description below. Is that right? Go
That's
straight
correct.
to the link in the description.
Just go there.
And you will find the link, just go there. You will find the link to the MVP grant by Investment New South Wales, and also you will find contact of Liz. She's not here with us today. She's in South Star.
Yeah, I guess a lot of our fellow entrepreneurs
Is it
and
on
investors.
today or tomorrow? Today is Thursday.
It's on.
It's on,
Yeah,
on
it's
today.
It's on
Okay.
already, yeah.
So for those of you who might have missed the memo about South Start, go and try to find out what South Start is about. And Liz, our capable advisor, is down over there at the moment. She's a panel or
Enjoying Adelaide, I think.
enjoying Adelaide. Fantastic. That's why it's called South Start. It's from South
Absolutely.
Australia. And so what are we going to cover today?
Okay, so this would be the last episode of a 4-part series on the New South Wales MVP Ventures Grant. So in the last 3 episodes, we've gone through a few things on an introductory about the grant itself, some of the guidelines, eligibility, and then we talked about the expression of interest form in detail, some of the key questions.
The 3 key questions.
The 3 key questions about innovation assessment. And then last episode, we talked a little bit about the mindset and also whether we should put in the time and effort into, like, is it for you, basically?
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
And Liz shared some very, very insightful opinion on that. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the detailed application. That is, after you submit your expression of interest, if they deem to be a good application, they will invite you for a detailed application.
Exactly. So what we are going to share, or what Jonathan's going to share with us today, are things that is not publicly circulated yet.
Unless you have been invited for a detailed application, then you would have got the application form.
So how many companies have gone through the first round and invited to submit this second form so far? Do you know?
I really don't know. Yeah, but just bumping into people in the ecosystem, I haven't heard a lot of companies that said, hey, I have been invited, but there must be some. Like,
there must be some.
I'm working with a few clients that have gone through the expression of interest stage and has been invited with the...
I heard through the grapevine more than 100 application expression of interest have been submitted so far.
Probably more than that, I would guess.
And then just under or just over 10-ish is invited into the second round.
I wouldn't be too surprised if that's the case.
That's the case. 1 in 12, 1 in 15 ratio.
Yeah, that sounds about right, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, but
so will you be killed by sharing this insight with us today?
I think they are very...
No one will kill you. I'm sure your client are happy with you.
Oh, I'm not sharing their response.
Okay, of
I'm
course.
just sharing the questions of what is expected.
Yeah.
If you have seen the application form, like as with a lot of various different application forms, there's a lot of things in there.
Just go deeper.
Yeah, we go deeper.
Expand it, explode it. All right, okay, without further ado, and of course, before we go to the real meat of the conversation, if you haven't seen the last 3 part, go to our channel to see it, and you will find this one should be part of a playlist.
Yeah.
And so you shall be able to discover those conversations that Liz and Jonathan had with us at Fishburner. And just in case you do not know, we are at Fishburner Level 3 Kitchen. And with the background and the reason why we broadcast here at the kitchen is to make sure that everyone get a taste of what it's like working at Fishburner. And this is naturally the most, how can I say, usual meeting conversation space that we have. And small team huddle together, stand up, etc.
Yeah.
And investor first coffee, barista coffee with the coffee machine over there, first barista coffee, well, self-made barista coffee with the investor. This is where all the conversations start.
Beer tap?
Beer tap as well. Once every Friday afternoon, and then the beer tap is flowing with wine, and then and we have lots of yogurt. I forgot the name of the yogurt. We have recently a yogurt sponsor, overloading all our fridge with yogurt and passion fruit yogurt. We'll share a tub later. Well, we won't share a tub. I will get you a tub later on.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, without further ado, let's go straight to the slide, or straight to the material.
Sure.
Here we go. I don't need to be on the camera, so Jonathan will quickly introduce the whole flow.
Sure. So this is a version that I have put together on this side. Yeah.
Oh, this is not the original form.
This is not. This is
All
not.
right,
This is a version that I put together because in the original form, if you go online, like there are so many different tabs and various other questions which take your time to read it carefully and then fill in whatever appropriate information. A lot of them is about your company, your past financials, your circumstances, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
So what I have done is I have taken out the meat of the application that is going to be assessed.
Yeah.
And I've shuffled the
sequence,
order,
yeah.
of how they appear in the original application form into a sequence which I believe it's easier to follow, and also I think it makes a lot more sense for an entrepreneur or founder in a startup stage.
Let's dive in.
Sure. Okay. So in the detailed application, after the expression of interest form, which is the innovation assessment, now it's really about the project. Okay, so the premise of the entire program is you've got a piece of innovation, you've developed some IP, and then you have identified a possible commercial opportunity, but you're somewhere here, and you need to go further before you can commercialize it. What is that project that takes you to the next step? So that's the whole premise of it, and that's why I start with the project information.
So this project is in fact the funding the mechanism that project that requires specific funding.
That's right.
And that need to be matching fund and need to be
absolutely. So the program actually funds a project, not so much like funding your business.
It's not funding a business, but funding a specific project of your business.
Not so much like, you're doing a great business, we want to invest in you. It's not that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's a specific project that has parameters and also an expected outcome.
That's right.
So I think that is important to note that we need to spell that out very clearly.
Yeah.
And the MVP Ventures program is based on their technology readiness level, TRL.
Yeah.
And they fund innovation, I think it starts from level 3 all the way to level 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And in your application, you need to define where you are at the moment in terms of the scale, why you're at that stage according to the definition of what the department has provided, and then spell out where would you be after the completion of this particular project that you're putting forward for funding. Okay, so it could be from level 4 to level 6, because now we are turning a lab-tested prototype into like more of a commercial environment testing pilot scenario. And after that, we would have a commercially tested solution that can go further into provisioning and implementation. As an example. So the first 3 questions in the form here, as you can see, is what is your current TRL, and then explain why your project is in that TRL.
How long? How long per box? How many words is you would recommend per box?
They in the real application form, they have specific word limits for each of the different questions, and they all vary. They all vary.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they all vary.
So on the real form, it actually have a word limit.
Yeah, it does say.
Okay,
It does
so-
say. Yeah. A lot of the questions are actually limited to 250 words roughly.
Okay.
But there are ones that have less.
Yeah.
Around 100 words or something like that. Yeah, but explain why a project is at a particular TRL, and that question really is, what have you done in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you taken out, like spun out from university research?
Yeah.
Or what have you done? Have you built a prototype, and where is that prototype? What does it do? Have potential customers engaged with your prototype previously, etc., etc. So establishing the baseline where we're at today, and then where you want to be.
After this
project.
Okay.
So now you've established that, we go into the crux of the project planning.
Okay.
So the project needs to have an outcome. What is the outcome? Okay, build a larger scale prototype, or obtain test results from your pilot customers, so you can take it further for certification next time.
Because the grant program is called MVP, and does it mean actually the way you just described, it sounds like that it actually doesn't need to be the first MVP. You might have already something validating your early market, but now you build a bigger version.
That's a good question, man.
Yeah.
I think
and you're allowed to click revenue already, so you can.
That's right.
Because in the past it was not allowed.
It wasn't.
It was
back when
pre-revenue.
you applied, it was
Exactly.
pre-revenue.
Exactly.
With this new program, I think the limit is any company that has not achieved $1 million turnover.
Okay, so it's actually
anything under
very
$1 million.
respectable. $1 million
For
turnover.
small, medium-sized enterprises in
Yeah, it's
Australia.
actually
No,
quite good.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, so to answer your question, no, it doesn't have to be the first ever prototype that you do.
No.
And I think the definition of MVP even out there in the marketplace, there are varying definitions. But by and large, it's an iterative process until you hit product market fit.
Yeah.
So it's a very long process. It can go for years for some companies.
Exactly.
Building an MVP or iterating an MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to define very clear outcomes, right? Try to be as specific as you can.
Yeah.
We're going to build this facility in, XYZ postcode or something like that.
Yeah.
That can facilitate X number of output in terms of a volume, like in manufacturing terms. That is. In software, it could be an integrated solution with XYZ parties, then which can be implemented at a commercial scale or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Okay. So now you have established your outcome very clearly. Then you go down and expand
and break down the cost and deliverable.
Absolutely, the activities.
Yeah. And cost, is it cost as well? Not here yet.
Not here yet, but down.
But further down the
further
cost.
down,
Before we go,
further down.
let's don't show all the.
Absolutely.
Let all the cat out yet. Okay, so expand on it. Okay.
Expand on it. You have to specify at least 3 activities that you're going to carry out.
Yeah.
So. Bit of a comment on that. I've seen applications where people put in, I want to hire 3 engineers as an activity.
Yeah.
Try to be more specific. We need to build XYZ, or we need to integrate XYZ as an activity, and then in the project budget, you can expand on the resources and personnel that is required to carry out the activities.
That's right.
So this is purely project activities. What do we need to do?
Yeah.
Right. We need to get certification on a particular device.
Yeah.
That's a valid activity which you can put in here. But be as descriptive as possible. So you list it out in the table. And then further down in a question which they call, which I call the TRL progression, is explain how the project will actually advance your project from the original
Your business or the project business.
The solution.
The solution.
Because a company can have multiple solutions that you're developing and then pushing out to market at various different stages.
Yeah.
So it would be specifically on, if you think about per IP. So your particular solution, your innovation, how does the project advance it from the previous TRL level that you've specified earlier to the expected level that you desired? And this question really is an expansion and description of the outcomes and activities that you have put in a table above.
Yeah.
And that's why I put it in kind of that logical sequence.
So you originally somehow in a swap.
They were everywhere. They were everywhere. Yeah.
That's not an opinion, just an observation.
Just have good observation, man.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Risk management.
Okay. So as with any good project management practice, a thorough risk analysis and accompanying mitigation strategy, it's always welcome.
Yeah.
After all, it's taxpayers' money that is being putting to the project. So it would be great to spell out some of the risks that you might encounter. To indicate that you have really thought about it, you understand what you are taking up, and possible mitigation strategies that how you're going to manage it. Like say for example, a common one is financial risk. What if the company runs out of money, right? That's one of the risks that I can see with a lot of these early stage companies projects, right? So it could be things like dedicated cash has been allocated at the time of application, and it has been signed off by the board, which is set aside for this particular project.
And could it be a funding source, an investor, or another grant is already confirmed in writing but not yet released? And
that was just an example of a possible risk. But to answer your question, I think
because it could. Am I right that it's possible that if someone, say for example, a health tech innovative startup researching a particular application to solve a major health needs, they could secure a grant with a health fund. But the health fund condition on that, you find another matching grant to match it to fund the whole project. So you can secure a letter from the health fund and then now apply for this one. If the government give you that matching fund, voila, you got your $200,000 project budget.
As a general principle, like usually with grants, like what was the term? You don't double deep, okay?
Why not?
It's
not allowed?
It's not allowed.
Really?
Okay. For different programs, they would have specified in their guidelines how they look at other grant funding from state or federal level on particular activities. So every grant differs. Okay, but there usually is a clause saying that hey, the same activities that you're putting forward for this particular program has not been funded by other state or federal initiatives.
Okay, so there is such a condition.
There's a condition in the guidelines with
actually,
as well.
just for sorry, I digress on
That's
that one.
Right.
Because actually, in some other council grant, I have been told that they encourage us to say, all right, secure at least a quarter. Go to a small grant body, ask for matching grant to make your quarter become half. And then make that joint half, apply for our council grant, and we will match it to make it a full. So you see what I mean? So in that case, it was specifically taught by the grant advisor, provided by the council, saying that if you don't have a matching half budget, at least find a smaller grant to bring you to half, then council will match and make you the whole project funding. And that was the kind of the idea. That's why I spilled that out earlier.
I think every grant has different rules.
Okay.
And on a council level might be very different. So the grants that I'm very, very familiar with are mostly the commercialization grant in the innovation space. And most of the grants that I've come across.
So the federal government have a condition that you have your own investor funding or whatever revenue funding.
You can't match it with another grants.
Okay. No
program.
matching grant.
They don't say it that way. Okay. The wordings are the same activities that you're putting forward for this for funding in this program should not have been funded by another initiative previously.
Previously or concurrently?
Concurrently as well. Yeah. Well,
all right. Good to know.
The same.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going. Risks. We're just talking about risk.
So now we have.
What are the risks that? Give us a few clues. What are the risks?
What if your CTO gets sick?
What if your AI experts is too busy?
Exactly.
Or going on holiday?
That's right. That's
at the
just
critical time.
Project management.
Or getting married.
Absolutely.
You can't ask people if they are going to have baby, but you can ask them are they getting married. Are you going for extended leave?
Are you going for extended leave? But
would they be available during that critical time?
They're good examples for as a potential risk that
right.
any company would be facing. Or if the project involves third parties or external stakeholders involvement, how are you going to manage that engagement?
Exactly.
Do you have procedures in place to make sure that everyone's on board and everyone comes to party at the right timing? That again reflects your competency in project management.
I want to share I digress again. If your project relying on a particular public domain free software or private software but happens to be free and something like that, and their license term could suddenly change and access right could suddenly change and could completely affect your project viability.
So looking at a risk analysis table, like if I put my assessor hat on, I would just be looking at how competent are you in project management, how experienced are you in managing certain innovation and commercialization projects.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what we would be looking for.
Okay.
If I was to do it.
Yeah. So the whole thing about the risk mitigation is to demonstrate you have really thought through the things.
Really thought through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you basically it means you know what you're doing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes.
Yeah, I'll just put it there arbitrarily.
Oh, you put it there.
Yeah.
So there is no limit on the number of risks.
Yeah, you can put however many that you think you need to address.
Would you recommend people to put too many or too little?
Depends on the business, right?
Okay.
It depends on the business.
Project.
Like in certain businesses, if it's life and death, the risk would be very different.
Yes,
to
of course.
A software maybe I can't say. Yeah. So
right.
it would be based entirely based on the business.
Okay, good. Moving right along.
Let's do that.
Project budget.
That it's a very important part of the application. It might seem very straightforward. Okay, so first of all, only 50% of the project budget can be attributed to internal wages, and 50% of the project budget needs to be spent with external contractors.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a hard rule in the guidelines.
Why is that?
I have no idea.
That's very interesting. What's the logic behind that?
I wouldn't have an opinion on that.
If this happens to be a really deep tech research project that is going to groundbreaking and make AI training super efficient at 1/10 the current scale. I mean, at 1/10 the current cost base, but achieving 10 times better efficiency and performance, but it requires 5, 6 PhD experts within the team to make it happen. And you somehow need to find 5 external providers and try to
work with the university.
Okay.
Channel the cost into the university faculty.
All right. So I have to second my 5 people into a university and pay through the university.
When you think about it, okay, with the grant amount.
Yeah.
What does that tell us? It's a very, very early piece.
Yeah.
the chances of you having 10 people in your team at that time is rare.
It's true. It is true.
So chances are it's two co-founders or with one or two early employees, and then you're just taking it further. So contracting out wouldn't be such a major problem. Even with co-founders, a lot of the time at such an early stage, they're still contracting the fees to themselves rather than paying as an employee.
Exactly. Oh, all right.
Anyway, right?
So shareholder, co-founder, shareholder are most of the time, yes, continue operating as a contractor to the business.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Right? I've
So
seen a
that
lot
is
of these.
okay.
That
That
would
is
be-
count as the 50% outsider.
That would count as a contractor as long as you provide an
Although
ABN.
they are shareholder of the startup.
Yeah.
This is okay.
So at the end of the day, what is being looked at are acquittals, right?
Yeah.
You provide invoices
Okay.
or PAYG slip statements.
Yeah.
When
And
at the end of the
need
project.
to go into two buckets of 50-50.
That's correct.
At least 50-50.
Yeah.
Well, in a way. Yeah,
in a way,
exactly.
in a way. That's right. Yeah. So that's the project budget
Yeah.
table that
Yeah.
I put in here, so it's easier to put in the staff members that are being paid a wage, and then a list of all the contractors and
Yeah.
what they actually do.
Yeah.
So it could be an IP attorney.
Yeah.
Working on your IP strategy.
Yeah.
That would be a very, very clear one.
Yeah.
Or it could be a freelance UI, UX designer working on the UI piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, go straight to the point. You do, Jonathan, you do provide services, advisory to the startup to apply for the grant like this, and you do charge a fee, a
Yeah.
commission. Well, it's a winning,
So
a cut of the grant.
I've engaged with clients in a couple of different ways previously.
Yeah.
So there are clients where they have probably done most of the work with the grant because they feel comfortable with
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
they just want a little bit of guidance and advice. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll
Final
read through
cross-check.
it
Yeah, exactly.
and comment on
18.
it,
Yeah.
change a little bit of
Yeah.
things. Then I can just charge by the hour on those occasions.
No. So my question is your course,
No.
can that go into
No.
here? No, exactly.
No.
That's what I want to
Yeah.
take out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nearly every grant that I have seen.
Application advisor cannot be part of the project. The
That's
project
correct.
must be the technical, nerdy part of the project.
Yep.
Okay.
Innovation, commercialization.
So for those of you who just to clarify that you need to find your own separate money to fund the process of the application.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
If you have hired
If
besides
you-
AI, you hire a writer, you
Yeah.
hire
Advisor.
a project manager to help. A project manager could go in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the exact wording is the fees that you are paying in preparation of the grant application is not eligible expenditure item.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's good. Okay, moving right along.
Let's move on. Okay, there's a little question here which asked why couldn't sufficient funding be sourced for the entire project? So why can't you pay for it? Like why do you need
Yeah.
why
You
you
need the New
grant
South
money?
Wales grant
Yeah.
help. What's the best answer you have seen so far?
Very tricky one, this one. Okay, basically, if I put on my assessor hat, I would be looking on how hard have you tried? It really is to prevent people from, I haven't tried anything, I came up with an idea, I just want some public money to feed myself or pay for my own salary to do something. Like there are cases like that that I've seen, but if I have to translate that question into layman's terms, like my own opinion would be, how hard have you tried?
Yeah.
And it could be a combination of a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
We've been bootstrapping for a long time.
Yeah.
Both co-founders have put in significant savings into the kickstarting of the businesses.
Yeah.
All right. In the form of sweat equity and also monetary contribution.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a significant investment.
Yeah, that's
you
good.
might have borrowed money from friends and families, like not a lot, but modest amount. Still, you're actually trying a lot of different avenues. Like in other grants, not particularly this one, you might have a registry of all the investor meetings that you have.
Oh, okay.
That's one form of it, just as
so
an
they ask
example.
For it. Some grant
Oh,
program.
some grants.
Okay, ask for demonstration of that you really try bootstrapping, really try other funding source.
That's right.
Really try raising capital.
Yeah. Have you spoken with a bank?
Yeah.
That's pushing it a little bit, but you get my point. Well, for some small medium-sized businesses, maybe they're qualified for financing.
Yeah.
Never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that question really means how hard have you tried? Okay, moving on. Validating entity. That's I think it's quite a unique element of the MVP Ventures program. What they require is you have to nominate an Australian-based entity, so it can't be overseas.
Okay,
So
validating entity.
Validating
Okay,
entity. That's right. So what is the purpose of having, or what is the function of this validating entity? It is really our company with the right personnel inside that company in a position, in a credible way to judge what your innovation is. That's the premise of it. If I have to interpret it that way. So, what's a good example? Let me give you an example. Someone in mining tech, I think we have talked about this before. I always use the mining tech because it's an obvious example. Okay, this mining tech company might have engaged with the likes of BHP very early on in their prototyping and market validation stage, and BHP understands what they're doing. They would be in a perfect position as a validating entity because they've got nothing to do with you right now, but potentially they could be a potential customer. So they can validate the technicalities of your solution as well as the market opportunity. So that's
become your client.
That's right, because you can always find in a scientific lab that depends on your business again, right? Some scientific lab to verify that your innovation is unique or the potential of the innovation from a technical perspective, they can do that. But they might not be in the position to verify or comment anything on the market potential of it. So in that case, there are other ways to put it in the application.
In the expression of interest, there is a simpler, a shorter version of the same question. I remember.
There isn't.
There isn't.
There isn't.
Oh, okay.
You might be looking at a previous version of the grant. Previous version of the grant. So no, in the expression of interest, it's purely the innovation assessment. Those three main questions.
That's right.
And then here, in the detailed application, you have to nominate the validating entity.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
And you have to explain, why they are in a good position. Right? Are they from industry, or how credible are they? What's the relationship? Why do they know the stuff? Right? Can they comment on the commerciality of the potential of the solution, etc.
It was a quite common question for B2C SaaS solution. Founders are wondering, my solution is B2C. How can I find enough consumer to validate my value proposition?
I'll give you an example. Let's say a wellness app. Okay, B2C wellness app. Validating entity could be a psychiatric association industry body, non-profit. Something like that. Depends on what you're doing, right?
Okay, so it's a credible, that's why it's an entity, a credible person or body happy to endorse your direction and
not
idea.
Not endorse, but really spell out what is the innovation, where are they at the moment, if they do X, Y, Z, how far will they be able to progress into.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm cautious of time. Let's go into the last part of the application, which is the commercialization assessment. I think this part is actually a lot more familiar to a lot of founders because that's the problem solution statement.
That's right.
What's the problem? How big is the problem? And then they justified who your target audiences are and your target segmentation.
Yeah.
and quantifying it with bottoms-up analysis,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. And then the third question is on value proposition. Like, not features, but benefits. What are the benefits that people are going to enjoy upon using your solution? And then lastly, it's a competitive analysis. So I think those 4 questions are not too unfamiliar for most audience
it should be.
in this forum, right?
Yeah.
So I won't go too much detail into that. There are lots of material out there.
It looks like the last part of the question, what is your product or process competitive advantage
Over competitors.
over competitors? Just the remarks, the 4 bullet point there is more than 120 words already.
Those are my notes.
Oh, those are your notes. Okay, so
Yeah.
the question itself have no.
There is a line or two in the actual application form
Only.
That says something
No-
around.
no-
You
no-
remember?
no
a
hints.
strong answer might. You
Yeah,
remember that,
something
right?
along that line, yeah.
You specifically asked me last time.
Yeah,
you know,
why
does that
the word
mean?
are strong?
Yeah,
Exactly.
so what I've done in here, that's my own version when I work
Okay.
on. Those bullet points are there to remind myself, hey, ask yourself these questions, like really scrutinize it to
Yeah.
see if we can find the essence of what it is
Exactly.
about.
Exactly. And the form is word limited.
We're limited, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
That
well,
one is easy. But for those of you can't see me now, I'm looking at the camera, but for those of you who want to get these extra tips, now look close onto this video and see Jonathan's personal tips in those bullet items. Moving right along. Final part.
Final part. Oh, actually, I have got one comment to make about the competitive advantage over competitors.
Yeah.
It's always good to name drop. Really spell out who your competitors are.
Yeah.
Not just saying, oh, I don't have a competitor, or
Yeah.
generically describe who are operating in your space. So
Yeah.
if you can name drop them and do a direct comparison,
Yeah.
we are better because we are faster.
Yeah.
Right? We are better because we are more economical, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? That would add a lot more credibility, and it's a lot more convincing that way.
Yeah.
Okay, lastly, there are just a few supporting documents that you have to provide as
Yep.
part of the application in this version of it, stage 2. You gotta have proof of the match funding
Yeah.
that you have. So it could be a proof of balance letter from your financial institution,
Yeah.
or it could be a signed term sheet and subscription agreement from your investor,
Yeah.
or it could be a loan agreement, etc., etc. Okay.
Okay, is it a letter from investors enough?
No.
No, they need
Execute
cash,
contract.
execute a contract, and also they want cash balance.
Or
In the old method, I do remember that I have to print the statement showing that the amount is really in our bank account.
okay, so I think this is the thing, right? When I prepare application, if it's within their capability of what the client can do, cash in the bank is the cleanest.
Yes.
Like if you can,
maybe the cash on the bank statement was part of the contract attachment, not in the application stage. The application stage may be just a memo from the investor saying, by that time I would have transferred that money. Because there is, after winning this grant, there is still a contract to be executed.
I can't say for sure, okay. But just judging from experience, and again, I'm putting on my assessor hat.
Yeah.
If you just give me a letter,
It's not an assessor hat, it's a JC hat. Keep going.
what was I up to?
If you put on your assessor hat,
Yeah. Okay, so
how do you validate that
But
they genuinely have the funding to match?
exactly, like, JC, I can write a letter and say, hey, I'm intending to invest, $50,000 into Sana.
Yeah.
I can give you that letter.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll just rip it out, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
that doesn't really mean anything
Yeah.
from a perspective. And you're just opening up, like, for people to raise their eyebrows, basically.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So why would you do that? Like if you can have
Don't fake it. Don't stretch it.
yeah, if you can have $50,000 in your bank,
Yeah.
then just do a proof of balance letter. That would
That's
be
true.
cleaner,
That's true.
easier.
That's true.
It's done.
exactly.
I don't have to do any more work
That's
from an
true.
assessor point of
That's
view.
True. That's true.
They have it.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But of course, I understand not everyone is in that position.
Yeah. Because a lot of founders who need the grant support are still scrambling and trying their best to find ways
Absolutely.
to sustain
Absolutely.
their own living first, and then
For
still
sure.
scrape together money to fund those little expenses, all the expenses. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I remember in other grant programs, we have looked into cases like, just to give you an example, for illustration purpose, okay?
Yeah.
There's a loan agreement
Yeah.
that was provided by a high net worth individual.
Okay.
Okay, but this high net worth individual might not be, super popular. Like, he's not well known. Like,
Yeah,
he's not
exactly.
well known.
Yeah.
So, the assessor requested a bank statement from that person to signify that he's in a position to provide that loan. Fair enough. Those are the kind of things, if it goes into further due diligence, that
Yeah.
needs to be carried out.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair enough
Yeah.
to do that if,
Yeah.
if you are in that position, like having you trust a piece of contract,
Yeah.
just signing amounts yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Makes sense. Okay, moving right along
Okay.
to the final
Last point.
items.
Trusted or asset company statement, that depends on your company structure.
Okay,
So I won't
yeah.
go into too much detail
Your
on
cap
that.
table, effectively, ASIC,
Yeah, that's
ASIC
right.
printout cap table. That's it.
Last point is market research documentation. And in the application form, it says optional. I highly recommend that we put something in there.
Yeah.
Every startup that I have encountered would have done numerous research into their customer, the market, and everything. You might have documented it in Notion, or you might have an industry report lying here and there. You might have conducted customer interviews. Don't be shy to put those together
Yeah.
into a single document.
Yeah.
This really is to prove that, hey,
You've done the hard
we,
work.
we have actually done a lot.
Yeah.
We know our market. We know our commercialization opportunities, and
Yeah.
here are some of the things that are unique to us. It could be
Yeah.
unique insights that you have gained.
Yeah.
So don't be shy to put that forward. I
Yeah.
think.
Know your, how can I say, know those people who sit across the table from you. So the assessor are very experienced business advisor, experienced business analyst, but they may not know every industry that well. So
Oh.
any material you
No
supply,
one can be, right?
Exactly.
No one
and
can
and
be.
the material you're able to demonstrate would help them to sell it to their boss, because after all, they are recommending, they are
There's a
not the
process.
final decision.
There's
they
a
are
process
recommending.
involved. There's a process
Exactly.
involved.
They are
Absolutely.
effectively recommending your project to be funded.
So make it easier for them to
Sell your project.
be a fan of your project.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the crux of the detailed application.
Very good.
Yeah.
And so what do we want? Now we go back to the camera with both Jonathan and I sitting here, and we go, not this way when we look at the camera. So what do we want the online audience to, if they have more questions?
If you have more questions, feel free to put in the comments or reach out to me directly, reach
Yeah.
out to Liz
Liz
directly.
exactly. Link in
for
the
any
description
questions.
below.
Or if you have a project or you're running a startup, you're considering applying for any government grants, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to have a chat and see if there's anything we can help you with.
Put my Fishburner hat on, and if you want to hang out with other like-minded founder, try to borrow as much experience as possible within our community. Come and hang out at our kitchen, and you'll run into Jonathan, you'll run into Liz, and then every now and then.
Come play ping pong with me.
Or pool table.
Or pool.
We do have a pool table here. So ping pong and pool table, and dartboard over there. Are we done for today? We already
think we are.
43 minutes.
Wow.
Slightly longer version than our
That's all
last
right.
few versions.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
totally fine. No,
So
I'm enjoying it too.
depends on the response or the question, any question that being asked. So far, no question asked so far from the last 3 episodes. And we hope that this have a longer shelf life than typical weekly podcasts. We hope that even 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year later, you would still find this conversation useful.
Hopefully.
Does it make sense? Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And ask question, call, contact Jonathan, follow the link in the description below. And what are we going to cover next time?
Is there anything that you guys want to cover?
Yep. And if you are a Fishburner member,
We're looking for
find us
suggestions.
at our beer time, and then we'll chit chat and we'll find out what we're going to cover next time.
There are a couple of other grant programs that are being released.
Or maybe we can talk about your angel investment journey so far.
We can do that too. Not so exciting. But
Not so exciting yet. Not yet.
not yet,
Not yet.
yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. But exciting enough.
It's exciting
In a way.
enough, yeah.
All right. Okay. So, thank you very much for hanging out with us so far. Up to 45 minutes now, and
Thank
see you
for
next
your
time.
Bye for now.
I press that button.